He says animal pretty hard in the song, and nobody ever really gets that as hard. Like he goes, I wanna you like an animal. Thanks,
You're
Trent.
right. It's actually a disgusting thing to say.
Yeah.
You want to have sex with someone like an animal? Okay, go for it.
Well-
I'm not interested. What's it going on about?
I feel like Trent didn't hear anything I just said for the past hour.
well,
He just wants to F me like an animal, he said.
who says this?
I wanna you like an animal. And then all this like factory noises are going on behind
Yeah.
it.
Whatever. Chris, whatever happened to let's get it on?
Let's get it on.
Like an animal. Imagine you're making love. What do you think to yourself? Oh, I wish we were two dogs. I wish we were two parrots.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
While someone's having sex with you really hard? Ow.
Yeah, what? Here's the question. Here's a question I think about. What kind of animal in particular was Trent Reznor thinking about?
I
Is that Barack Obama?
you like a worm.
Like a
Worm?
penguin.
Like a koala bear.
The fact is, Mr. Reznor, your lyric was silly.
Well done. Well said.
Mr. Reznor, your lyrics are out of order.
James, wake up! The whole building.
Wake up!
The whole.
I want sex with you like an animal.
Wake up! There's a guy down around the corner, and our neighbor. He's trying to have sex like an animal, and we need you to tell us what the subject of today's Evil Man episode is before it's too late.
Well, I love System of a Down, and you know what? A shout out to Tim and Rebecca, our friends. As a wedding gift, they got Ebony and I System of a Down T-shirts.
I
and I've been
didn't
wearing
know that.
it. Yeah, it was cool.
That's sick.
Anyway, Michael, great question. Today's topic is, and honestly, I think this is a classic Evil Men topic. It's exactly what you're looking for. Ed Gein. The Gainster, making copies.
Okay, can I say something?
Yes.
Last year, I knew I really wanted to do an episode on Ed Gein to the point where I got an Audible book about him, and it's supposed to be the best one out there. And I listened to about half of it, and I kept stopping it near the middle because it's so dark and heinous.
Yo, guy, this is the best Ed Gein Audible book.
If you really want to dive into everything Ed Gein. But like,
That one you've got in your hand is not very good, but this one's the best.
so I'm jealous that I forgot to tell you guys that I eventually wanted to do Ed Gein. But I'm also glad James is taking the reins because he's the serial killer of all serial killers.
I didn't know the story at all, and it was pretty interesting. I'll say that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know the story. I didn't know at all anything about him.
It's a fucking nightmare, bro.
Well, that's your opinion.
The story of Ed Gein's a fucking nightmare, bro. I find it interesting.
Now, Ed Gein's not the guy who was on The Office, or the guy who was in the Hangover movies, is he?
Mike, I think you might be thinking of Ed Helms.
Oh, dear God, I am.
No, Ed Helms is an actor, comedian, and wonderful guy by all accounts.
Ed Helms is an actor, comedian, hilarious guy from as far as we know. And Ed Gein is an animal!
I do remember kind of a funny line from The Hangover. I remember Ed Helms was in that. And one of the
Yeah.
other actors is talking to Ed Helms, and he's like, dude, you've got to break up with your girlfriend, man. She cheated on you. And Ed Helms is a really sort of pathetic guy. And he goes, she didn't really cheat on me. He said something like, he didn't even come inside. And I always thought that was funny that the guy would be like, oh, it wasn't that bad. He didn't even do that.
What a beta move.
Yes. Okay, I'm just going to have a sip of Perrier.
And
No.
after the Perrier, right to Ed Gein.
I wonder if he would have liked Perrier. Okay.
Don't think so.
Edward Theodore Gein, also known...
Edward, Simon, Theodore,
Gein.
Alvin. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
No, it's okay. Also known as the Butcher of Plainfield, was an American murderer, suspected serial killer, and body snatcher.
Oh. Reminds me of Donald Sutherland in The Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the remake with also Captain Spock and Jeff Goldblum.
Wow. Gosh, what a career for Mr. Goldblum.
Using everything.
So Ed Gein was born in La Crosse, Wisconsin in 1906.
I wonder if he was a cheesehead.
I also, if he likes lacrosse so much, I wonder if he's ever been to a game of the 6-time National Lacrosse League champion Toronto Rock.
Probably.
Ed had an older brother named Henry.
Hello.
Ed's mom was a fervently religious Lutheran who would preach to Ed and Henry about the innate immorality of the world.
Oh, wow. The mother of a serial killer is intensely Christian again and overbearing.
She'd also preach about the evils of drinking and her belief that all women, apart from herself, were naturally promiscuous instruments of the devil.
Okay.
Women.
Yep.
You know what the evils of drinking are? They let you unwind a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You should never unwind a little bit.
His mom is definitely really weird. I will say that, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I know all this from the audiobook I got.
So Ed's mom reserved some time every afternoon to read to them from the Bible, usually selecting verses from the Old Testament, specifically the book of Revelation.
Oh, that's good for a young mind.
Ed's dad was an alcoholic who was unable to keep a job.
Okay.
Yep. He was kind of like that classic beta cuck that
Ed Helms and Hangover.
that yeah, there you go. So there is a crossover. That like the overbearing, domineering mother would like ridicule in front of the children and everything.
Interesting.
You got fired from the milk factory? What kind of a man are you? That's that sort of thing.
yes,
I
that-
spilled
Mike, I felt
milk.
like I was transported into
1900.
La Crosse, Wisconsin. Well, his
Yeah.
mom did hate his dad.
A lot of people don't know this that listen, but every year Mike puts on a different theater production where he plays every character.
This Christmas is going to be the Ed Gein story.
Yeah,
Oh,
last year was
oh.
Rent.
Yeah, yeah.
A Phantom of the Opera one year.
Yeah.
I
Miss
love.
Saigon, your Miss Saigon
Yeah.
was to die for.
I impersonate the helicopter descending onto the stage.
you have a
Spinning
beanie
his
hat?
legs
Yeah.
like a propeller.
Mike's upside down with his doing breakdancing in the air, like being lowered to the ground. So, Ed Helms' I guess cuck-ass dad was owned a grocery store in La Crosse for a while, but he sold it, and he left the city with his family to live in isolation on their 155-acre farm in the town of Plainfield, Wisconsin.
All right.
Ed's mom took advantage of the farm's isolation by turning away outsiders who could have influenced her sons. Thank God you wouldn't want any outside influence on the mind of Ed Gein.
All those
Mhm.
crazy ideas circulating in rural Wisconsin in the 1910s.
Who knows? Maybe someone else out there may have accidentally taught him how to be human.
Ed Gein left his farm only to attend school. Outside of school, he spent most of his time doing chores on the farm. Oh, now, Mike,
Why are you looking at me?
let me tell you this next point here. This is interesting. Ed Gein was shy, and his classmates and teachers remembered him as having strange mannerisms, such as seemingly random laughter, as if he was laughing at his own personal jokes. No.
Well, why are you
Does
looking
that
at me?
make me think of anybody?
Hey, stop killing us, Mike.
Am I a shy guy? Maybe. Do I laugh at little jokes going on in my head? Sometimes. But that doesn't make me a serial killer on the level of Ed Gein or on the level of any serial killer.
No, there's other attributes of Ed Gein as well.
Well,
you.
Ed Gein also did have a brother. Mike has two of them.
Okay.
Oh my God. Ed Gein also loved Britpop.
Yeah.
Huge Suede fan.
Yeah.
So,
He thought anyone wearing a bucket hat was the guy from The Verve.
you ready for some sad news?
Well, if you must.
On April 1st, 1940.
For Fool's Day.
Yes.
Sad news on that day. I think you've misread your own notes.
I know. I yep.
More like funny gag.
Good
Yeah.
point. Well, on April 1st, 1940, Ed Gein's father died of heart failure caused by his alcoholism. And then I wrote a joke for myself. Boy, you wonder if he thought, do you think there's any chance this could be an April Fool's joke?
Oh, we beat you to
No,
it.
but
We
it's an
ruined
easy
it.
one. And you know what? It wasn't an April Fool's joke. His dad was just dead, but you do wonder if he's
Yeah.
the one.
Yeah.
Dad, stop.
Yeah.
Stop it.
No, he was long gone.
Hmm.
Ed and his brother Henry began doing odd jobs around the town to help cover living expenses. The boys were generally considered reliable and honest by the community. Ed would also babysit, which he enjoyed, which is disturbing to learn, but he seemed to be able to relate more easily to children than adults.
Okay.
Are you a baby guy, Mike?
I think babies are cute, just like the average man and woman. I like babies just the right amount.
Okay.
Just the right amount. Henry, the older brother, began dating a divorced mother of two
Damn.
and planned to move in with her. But, so when he's thinking of leaving the farm, he's thinking about Ed. And he's like, I'm a little worried about Ed's attachment to our mom. And Henry would often speak ill of mother.
Now, if you're thinking Norman Batesian, genuinely inspired by Ed Gein's story, Psycho.
Really?
Yeah, Henry would be like, "Mom sucks," right? And Ed Gein would be like, "No, she doesn't." Well, it says he would respond with shock and hurt.
Right.
He loved.
You think she sucks?
In 1944, there was a fire at the family farm.
So Ed didn't serve in the U.S. forces during World War II, I guess?
No. That is a little odd. How
Or
did
was
that
he
happen?
too young, maybe?
No, he was born in 1906.
Oh, 6. Yeah, he should have been old enough to be in the war.
He was like
Yeah.
34.
Yeah. Well, maybe
No
he's-
excuse
yeah,
not to
yeah.
fight in the war. Sorry. Oh, bloody hell. I lost where I was. There we go.
He had a very keen interest about something that happened in World War II. Did you read about that at all?
I did.
Okay, I'll leave it
Yeah.
then.
Bob Hope's USO tours, maybe?
Yes, he loved Bob Hope's jokes. Another evil man who's been featured.
That was a
on
good
this.
episode.
One of our best.
Anyway,
You need to go back to a cottage and get high and drunk.
I know. We could do it in the winter. Anyways,
Ski chalet.
1944. There's a
You and Mike bouncing in between the moguls.
yeah, hell
I
yeah.
would love it.
Ski chalet party. We invite all the other
Yeah.
skiers at the resort over. Things get a little wild.
Picture us, 3 ski bunnies having a hot chocolate by the fire at the end of the day in the chalet.
Us and 3 ski bunnies, or we are
the ski
Oh,
bunnies.
Okay.
I
You
mean,
guys ski in your jeans?
I do.
I'm willing to try.
Anyway, yeah, there's a fire at the family farm.
Shit.
They put the firemen come and women. Probably not. Anyway, they put the fire out. Oh no! Henry, Ed's brother, his dead body is found.
Oh, he burned inside the farm?
Yes.
Mhm.
But no, sorry, Michael. He didn't burn. So he was just found there. But everyone assumed, he must have died of heart failure. Although there are some bruises on his head. That's interesting.
Suspicious.
So
Curious.
I don't believe this was ever proven as an Ed Gein murder, but when you learn some later details, it makes you wonder, doesn't it, Chris?
Okay.
People suspected it very highly, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was never proven.
Well, don't speak ill of mother around Ed, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you.
So with brother Henry gone, it's just Ed and his mama. Her name was Augusta.
Mama.
Mama. Ed and Mama, there's just them at the farm now. No more third wheel.
They make a cute couple.
They certainly do.
They're playing Crazy Eights,
Yeah.
eating Cheetos.
Jimmy Savile was also extremely devoted to his mother and when she died, he spent 5 days beside the body alone in a room. And he would always say it was like happiest time of my life. That's a terrible impersonation of him, but he would say happy days, happiest time of my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Good
And it's
God.
implied that maybe he.
No, Michael!
There's another. Is it true?
Well, he sat beside her body for
Oh.
5 days
Wow.
by himself.
This
And he had
is-
necrophilia.
Because he did another.
The one
in the-
episode we don't talk about
yeah.
dicks and jizz. It's even darker than those.
Yeah.
It's even ruder than
Yeah.
those ones.
But I
Well,
gotta
it's
say,
how-
this is also our second episode now where you're getting two evil men for one.
Yeah,
That's a good point. Well,
but they're living a happy
Horrific.
life together.
Scary.
yeah. So Ed's living.
Mama down by the schoolyard.
That's going on in his head.
Yeah.
So as I said, it's the three of them at the farm. Unfortunately, Ed's mama had a stroke, and Ed looked after her, so
Okay.
she was okay. Here's an example of how Ed's mom might be described as a bit of a strange lady.
Okay.
One day, Ed and his mom went over to a neighbor's house, and while they were there, that neighbor started beating a dog. And trigger warning, animal abuse. I'm about to tell you. So they're at their neighbors, and the neighbors beating up a dog for some ungodly reason.
The hell.
A woman inside the neighbor's house comes out and yells at the man to stop beating up that dog. But, and this is very dark, he didn't stop, and the dog died. It was he killed this dog.
Beat him to death.
Yes. Anyway, after
God.
this horrible, stuff of nightmares.
The neighbor did it though.
The neighbor did it.
Right,
but
right.
listen to
Yeah.
this, Mike.
Hey neighbor.
Afterward, Ed and his mom go home, and Ed's mom is really upset by what she just saw. Oh my God, that was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And Ed's like, oh, do you mean killing the dog? And she's like, no, that there was a woman in that house. They're not married.
Oh,
So
okay.
she said she's a harlot staying at that guy's house. That woman
Mm.
who yelled, please don't kill that dog.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the perfect antidote for a tale about a psycho person.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You're like, what a misdirect. Right?
I'd say she has your priorities all wrong.
I do too.
From what I heard, she was like, very intense.
Mom.
Yeah.
Anyway, so kind of a idiot, his mom, but she died in 1945.
And then
Ed was devastated. Devastated. In the words of Ed Gein's biographer, Harold Schechter, Ed had lost his only friend and one true love. He was absolutely alone in the world.
Ed.
Ed, if only this was a time when there was Hinge or Facebook,
Bumble,
friggin' start a
Tinder.
podcast.
Start a
Any way you
podcast.
could connect with people, but pre-internet,
Christian Mingle.
absolutely, and he would have been probably happy on Christian Mingle. There's a really funny romantic comedy, by the way, starring Corbin Burnson, which he also directed, called Christian Mingle, and Tim Gilbert, I believe, and Rebecca Raftus showed it to us. It could have been Aaron Eves and Steph. I forget who showed us this movie, but very funny. It's a Christian romantic comedy. And anyways.
But Ed Gein doesn't figure in.
Ed Gein is not involved. No. But it's like the movie's named after the app. And
Right. Was it sort of a cross promotion
maybe,
type
like
thing?
they
Yeah.
did use the
Most
app
of
in the
it, yeah.
movie.
Well.
Lacey Chabert was the female lead.
who's that?
You might remember her from Party of Five.
Oh.
I don't know.
Anyway, so Ed's mom, she gone. And Ed is now living at the farm and earning money from odd jobs. Ed boarded up rooms that were used by his mother, including the upstairs, downstairs parlor, and living room, leaving them untouched. So those rooms were pristine, while the rest of the house became squalid, and Ed just lived in a small room next to the kitchen.
Ed, what are you doing, man?
Ed, forget Mary Kondo. I mean, you need all 5 Queer Eye for the Straight guys. I mean, Jesus Christ. So around this time, Ed gets really interested in pulp adventure stories, especially ones involving cannibals and Nazis. And Chris, as you were alluding to, especially stories about turning human skin into lampshades and stuff like that.
Yeah, he found the Nazi atrocities, what they would inflict on, their captors. He
Yeah,
was
kids.
really interested in that and obsessed with that and fixated on it.
He's going down several wrong
Mike,
paths.
you love furniture.
IKEA, Crate and Barrel.
HomeSense.
an Eames chair.
You
But
ever
you-
been to
but you
Williams
don't
and
take it-
Sonoma?
Yes.
They're not
But
bad.
you don't take it to this level.
I don't
that
take
I've
it to this
seen.
level,
You just
no.
like beautiful furniture.
I
Yeah.
like beautiful furniture. Yeah.
And you told us recently you put together an IKEA thing,
I put together a bunch of IKEA stuff.
but not to this Ed Gein.
Was Ed Gein one of those guys who he would get frustrated with the IKEA instructions and be like, "Oh God damn it, I can't put this
Yes.
bed together."
Here's the thing: I wouldn't want furniture made out of human skin because, it's human skin. Then you
Mm.
gotta like look at it every day.
I couldn't agree with you more.
You'd see like there'd be like freckles on it and stray hairs coming out
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
your chair and couch.
Or it's like the face, and someone's like, it's like a grin at you.
Yeah, it's like they're watching TV with you, but they're dead.
By the way, Mike, remember I texted you guys? There's a picture on the internet of Nicolas Cage wearing black leather pants, and there appears to be a sewn
Yeah.
on sort of.
There's a weird clump shape, diamond-ish.
On his crotch. Honest to God, it looks like it's a jean vagina. It's a vagina.
Yeah, it looks like either if it's not a vagina, then it's a flower painted by Georgia O'Keeffe.
on his leather pants, the
Yeah.
crotch. Yeah, unusual leather pants. But then again, remember who we're talking about.
Nicolas Cage, the
Nicolas
king of
Cage.
weird.
Rock and roll
Yeah.
nut.
So did Ed Gein? Are you saying he immediately started making?
No, he's just getting
interested in Nazi
I'm-
atrocities.
Not yet.
Like
Okay.
before, I'm
Not-
teasing, you know.
Right, right.
Yet.
Okay.
Another film, though, to drop a hint, based on the nightmare world of Ed Gein, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That's right. And Buffalo Bill.
Right, yeah, Buffalo
Buffalo
Bill
Bill.
from Silence of the L's.
Mm.
Texas
Hello,
Chainsaw Massacre.
Clarice.
Took my baby away from the...
Silence of the Lambs.
Turn my baby into pants. That actually works.
That's good.
So the darn guy, he's inspired a lot of classic, beloved movies.
So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So let's get to his murders, shall we?
Oh God.
Yes.
In November 1957,
Mm.
a local hardware store owner disappeared. The cash register at her store was open and there were bloodstains on the floor. I mean, it certainly doesn't seem like Ed Gein was a criminal mastermind. The last receipt the store owner had given that day was to Ed Gein,
Mm.
so he got arrested. And the police go and search Ed's farm. Some dark details here, so I'm just giving you a heads up, dear listener. But at the farm, they discovered the store owner's decapitated body in a shed, hung
Okay.
upside down, and described as being dressed out like a deer. So at this point, the police are going,
Who could have done this?
that's odd.
Yeah.
So they search around the house.
They said, that's not a deer.
So they're searching.
It's not.
Bill and Ted. Dude. They're searching the house, and do you want to know what the authorities found in Ed Gein's house? It's
Oh,
a long
God.
list.
But are you going to do this now or do the other murders before?
Well, I'm just doing it now.
Okay.
I'm bracing
But we'll
myself.
cover everything, just
Okay.
because I've set it up already.
Sorry.
Here's what they found in the house.
Sorry to be a know-it-all, like Nosy Parker.
No, it's okay. Please, I can't wait to learn more details.
No, I don't. This is all I remember.
Searching the house. Here's
Yeah.
what they found. Ready?
So they found it. So sorry.
Here's what they found. Human bones, a wastebasket made of human skin,
Which he'd start writing a novel and he'd crumple up a piece of paper and throw it and it would miss the wastebasket.
Oh God.
So there was a pile of. No, I'm just joking.
No, but it probably did happen. Human skin covering several chair seats.
Okay.
This is an interesting one. Skulls on his bedposts.
Buddy, you don't put skulls on your
No, I
bedpost
mean,
if you want to ever bring a sweet young thing home with you.
like you're a dude who lived with
did
his
bring-
mom and your best friend was your mom. I don't think you could pull off skulls on your bedpost.
Yeah.
If skulls were on my bedpost, I got 2 words for you. Haw shoo, haw shoo.
What,
I'm out like a light.
They put you to bed?
Yeah. Didn't he have like human
Imagine-
skull bones, like cutlery and plates and bowls and stuff? Too?
Yes. Bowls made from human skulls?
Yeah.
The guy needs a lesson in feng shui, don't you think?
Yep. He had leggings made from human skin.
He had the skull of Feng Shui on his kitchen table. It was full of quinoa and bib lettuce.
He had leggings made from human skin. He had a woman's skull in a box. He had a belt made of nipples.
It's my skull in a box.
Ugh, I know. It's
Wait.
horrible.
Belt made of nipples.
I don't understand how that works, and I really didn't want to.
You know how many nipples you need to make a belt? 48.
I know, it's odd. Yeah.
It's my skull in a box.
He also and he had a Nintendo Switch made of skin.
He also had a poster of Scarface made out of skin. And he arranged like birthmarks and freckles to look like Al Pacino.
I gotta say, he sounds like one of the weirdest guys in Wisconsin.
No doubt.
And that's saying a lot.
Oh yeah. Well, I did find one detail that to me makes it slightly less heinous.
Oh, this I've got to hear.
Well, when questioned, Ed Gein told investigators that between 1947 and 1952, he made as many as 40 nocturnal visits to 3 local graveyards to exhume recently buried bodies while he was in a dazed-like state. On about 30 of those visits, he said he came out of the daze while in the cemetery and left empty-handed, but on other occasions, he dug up graves of middle-aged women he thought resembled his mom, took the bodies home, and tanned their skins to make his paraphernalia.
So he was dazed and confused for so long it wasn't true?
I don't really actually see the relevance of that sentence I said that I copied from somewhere. I apologize. But yes, he'd go to the graveyard, he'd dig up middle-aged
Right.
ladies and bring them home.
So
So
can
at
I
least
ask-
he's not... He did
Yeah.
kill, they think, 2 people plus his brother, right, Chris?
But the 2 people he kidnapped and killed.
No, I don't think he kidnapped anybody. One
Well-
woman he shot that I haven't mentioned yet. One woman they realized he shot with a shotgun at her.
I just mean kidnapped as in they disappeared, and then
he killed them and then took the body.
yeah. Then when they went, sorry, yeah.
but I
But
mean,
but
yeah.
they were both older, portly women that weirdly had this, and brash women, like women with like they were big characters in the town, which
Rosie
is
O'Donnell or whatever.
or his mother.
Right.
Yeah. But they were like women in town where it's like if they were missing, it was clearly obvious because they were big characters. You see, so it was weird. And then, yeah, okay, yeah.
No. Go
So-
ahead.
Can I ask though? So they found all of this stuff in his house, but this was their first inkling that he had done anything, and it was all because he did a sloppy job killing a woman at a hardware store.
My understanding is yes.
So he was trying to get caught. Like
I think he was just.
There was also a pub like
Crazy?
woman that he took to.
and he shot a pub. He shot.
yeah.
he shot a pub. No.
Yeah, he murdered a woman in a pub, a barkeep, a few years earlier too. So he.
So yeah, like, but what you were saying, James, about him and his brother, even at that time, and like you're saying, Mike, it was shocking what they discovered when they went in his house just on a whim,
Mm-hmm.
right? They discovered the biggest nightmare like you ever could imagine. Classic tale of cops running outside and puking and retching and being just like shocked. For
Yeah,
the
like
rest
one
of
of
their
the
lives.
police it
Traumatized
said was
for the
like
rest of their lives.
totally fucked up after. Like,
Yeah.
it
Imagine
really
if Michael
disturbed the
Winslow,
police.
Like,
the
imagine-
cop, had been there when they discovered all that stuff. Imagine the sound effects he would have
Yeah.
made.
Whoa. yeah, I think the lamp just farted. yeah, like
The lamp's made out of a guy's ass.
Stop making those sound effects, officer. It's not appropriate.
there's cups made out of feet. He's like, hey, look at those.
Gee, I'm just gonna eat out of this skull bowl. Excuse me. But like, what I wanted to say also was Michael Winslow from Police Academy investigates Ed Gein's house.
He's making sound effects while he's puking.
That's the most horrific thing I've ever seen.
Oh yeah. Oh look, this chair is made out of an old lady's butt. Wow, you're good at barf sound effects. Those are real. Now I forgot what I wanted to say. But yeah.
It was a classic, like,
Oh,
nightmare house.
yeah, but even up until they were like literally like what James was saying way earlier about him and his brother being known as helpful guys. Ed was genuinely known around town as a quiet but kind-hearted man. they thought he was a little stinky and a little unkempt, but literally when they were like, we have to go to Ed Gein's house to investigate, people were like, are you sure, Ed? Like literally he tricked everyone by being a bit simple and quiet and kind, like helpful. So he was like this sort of like, Ed'll help us like
Like a
push the
Mickey
car out
Rooney
of the
like
mud
character.
puddle,
Yeah.
and then he'll go home and like make strawberry jello in a skull oven.
Easy bake oven.
Oh,
It's just a
you
skull.
don't even make
You
jello
put
in
it
an
in the
oven.
mouth?
That's how shitty my fucking joke was. There's so many factual errors there.
Can I just say-
Hot jello, straight out of your old mama's skull.
Big hot jello.
Yeah. There's a great bowl set I got from the graveyard recently that I made hot jello in.
Heaven forbid if there was an Ed Gein today, because technology has changed. Imagine they go into his house, they see, oh, there's an iPad made of human skin.
Or a Fitbit.
Yeah. Oh, is there Fitbit made of nipples?
A Fitbit made out of nipples. Wow, look, this thing tells me how far I've walked and I can lick them and suck on them.
What a nightmare!
It's all these like male businessmen on their way home licking their.
His Peloton is made out of a man's face.
They actually discovered that Ed Gein was the murderer when he went up to his neighbor and said, hey, Frank, want to lick the nipples on my belt? Check it out.
What kind of? You didn't? Where'd you get that belt? They don't sell those at J.C. Penney.
You know what? It makes sense that Ed Gein was the murderer because we've all been paying him $5 for months to lick the nipples on his belt behind the barn. You know what?
Oh.
2 and 2 add up. Make 4. I don't know.
Wow. Well,
Hey, there's a lot of material there, and when you
Yeah.
got a house made out of bones and skin,
I know. What a nut.
but really fucking scary,
You know what
like
I think?
fucking demented.
I don't think his mother, that he loves so much, would have approved.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She was
literally
She was
seemed
kind of a
insane.
piece of work.
Okay. So what you're saying is that she had it coming.
Ed, can you get those harlots' bones for me? Yeah, but he was addicted to, like James was saying, like pulp
Love
magazines about
Might as
Nazis
well
and torture.
face it. Oh.
Right.
And sometimes, like, I don't know if you've ever seen like pulp books from like the 50s and 60s, and around that time, but they really like, you think of like America at the time as a really sort of like Christian repressed place, especially like outside of the sort of cities. And they were, but they still had these really fucking morbid and perverse outlets. And I feel like that stuff is censored way more now than it was back then. Like some of those underground pulp things were like always about like, Nazis and like just creeps, like kidnapping women, and like you could just so much pop culture back then. Dime store like comics and books were like pretty depraved.
Pretty dark.
Right.
So you could like, for a guy with like a bit of like a a mental illness, let's say, to put it politely, delicately as possible. I don't
No,
know.
I think it's okay to say that Ed Gein had a mental illness.
Here's a
He needed mental health.
Here's a detail I forgot to mention that's pretty dark also.
No.
Ed Gein had begun to create a woman suit so that he could become his mother, to literally crawl into her skin.
That was like Buffalo Bill from
Yeah,
Silence of the
and
Lambs.
Hannibal
He was-
Lecter too. He well, no, more Buffalo Bill, wasn't it? Hannibal Lecter put the guard's skin over his face to escape. That is such a that's bad. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to give him credit. That's pretty intense and ballsy.
That's what I did to get out of the drunk tank in Halifax.
Now, a woman's suit made of his mother's skin, that makes Lady Gaga's famous meat dress seem normal. Andy Bjork's flamingo dress from the Oscars seem normal.
I imagine that when Lady Gaga wore her meat dress, and what was that for? The Oscars or
The
music awards or something?
one of those things, yeah.
They were airing it live in prisons, and all these psychopaths were jumping up and down and cheering for the meat dress. Yay!
She's sending us a message.
Yeah.
She likes us.
They're
Yeah.
normalizing the type of clothes we like to wear.
And just since
And make.
bizarrely through some kind of insane kismet, I guess it has been a theme throughout the episode, which you didn't even which not intentional. He was asked if he had sex with the dead bodies, and he said no because they smelled too bad.
Oh, damn, that's the ultimate insult.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the one thing that kept him from doing it.
So they say.
Apparently, Calvin Klein at the time. Too bad Ed Gein just missed out because Calvin Klein was working on a cologne for dead bodies. Yeah.
So can I ask, did he killed a handful of people, but
2 to 3, I think.
he's mostly known for digging up bodies and desecrating them and using their parts to make
Furniture.
furnishings and clothing.
It's literally not, but the people he murdered too became like he used every piece and they were scattered. Like someone lost their wife, you know, and then their wife's body parts were all over his house being used.
Man, that is pretty.
Did he
Like,
kill at least one
you
guy?
don't want to
No.
ever find that out about someone that you know or love.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I
He-
don't even.
he
I'm
might
gonna
have
start
killed his
crying,
brother.
actually.
He might have killed his brother.
Yeah.
If you're a serial killer, you got to kill at least one guy. Come on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if your brother's the closest guy, hit it.
So in
Good God,
in
sorry.
1957, Ed was arraigned on one count of first-degree murder. He pled not guilty because of insanity. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia and found mentally incompetent, unfit for trial. He was sent to live in the Central State Hospital for the Criminally Insane, and he died in a mental health institute in 1984 due to lung cancer. He was 77.
Probably was a smoker, too.
It's
Oh
funny
my
how
God. he
in
probably
the-
smoked cigarettes made out of fingers.
Did the police find cigarettes when they went in the house?
And they went like this. Shame.
It's funny how in 1957 he's in an institute for the criminally insane, and in 1984 it's a mental health institute. It's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
the same thing. They just changed it from criminally insane
Yeah.
to mental health.
So
Ed Gein's house.
in retrospect, were they like, oh, it's likely he killed his brother because he looked like he was murdered?
I think so, and he had bruises on his head.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're caught up on this brother thing. Eh? Does it make you
Yeah.
think of you and your brothers?
Makes me think, I hope I never do that to any
You
of my
can't do
brothers.
it.
Yeah.
You can't do it. You don't have it
Oh,
in
don't
you.
do it. To
We don't have a
them.
damn farm, for one thing.
No.
Here's a little trivia for the film buffs.
There's your mom's place.
There is. Oh, God, I'm not out of the woods yet.
So film buff trivs. Okay, if you're a fan of the German filmmaker Werner Herzog, he made a great movie, excellent, beautiful movie called Stroycheck. And he filmed it in Wisconsin on location, and it's about 3 hapless German, idealistic, lonely kind of fools who moved to Wisconsin to discover the American dream after being bullied in Germany for so long. But I read once. Oh, here's another quick trivia about the movie. The movie ends with Bruno S. playing the main character, Stroycheck, inferring that he kills himself like he does on a ski lift while chickens dance on a hot plate and all this weird stuff goes on. But apparently that was the last movie Ian Curtis watched before he killed himself, the singer of Joy Division. So that's another little trivia thing. But anyways, Herzog said in the bonus material on the Stroycheck DVD that he wanted to film in Wisconsin specifically to visit the sites of Ed Gein because he was so captivated by the tale of this deranged man. So if you're watching Stroycheck, think of behind the scenes Herzog being like, and this is where a catastrophe happened with Ed Gein.
You should never listen to this audio tape.
Ed Gein
Being eaten by a
drinking
bear.
soup.
You should never listen to this tape of Ed Gein being eaten by those bears.
Yeah. Never listen to this audio of Ed Gein drinking pea soup from a skull.
Can I say, for a German filmmaker, he didn't need to travel all the way to North America to visit the site where some atrocities happened.
Well,
I wanted to see the craziest thing that's ever happened on land.
you should never turn on this light with the human butt lampshade. Well, is it time to bring
Oh,
out?
is that the story? That's the complete story of Mr. E.G.
Oh yeah, he died. Yeah, he died.
Oh, he
That's
died.
it.
Motherfucker died.
Chris covered the
Right.
things he influenced.
The only thing I remember that was different that I said was that the two women were like bigger, portly, brash, outspoken women that were like, I guess, kind of resembled his mother.
Right.
And then I didn't know that about what you said, James, where even like the graves he dug up were of women that were like weirdly reminded
This
him of his
town
mother.
seemed to have a lot of women of that type.
Wisconsin, famous for cheese. Cut that out. Edit that out.
No, leave it in.
Well, thanks, James.
Nah, if I eat too much cheese.
What a beautiful and scary Halloween story
You know
you
what?
told us.
It's a perfect Evil Men kind of. When
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
reading it, I thought,
Yeah.
oh, this is classic.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's time to bring out. Oh no, I don't. Should we do it?
Let's bring it out.
It's time to bring out the.
Evil Amateur.
Ah, he's wearing a skin mask and skin leggings, and he has a bloody hammer in his hand, and he has 3 steaming hot bowls of French onion soup. But wait a second, they're not normal bowls. They're bowls made from skulls of people he dug up from a graveyard.
Oh, and he's wearing the bones of a pelvis on his head like a crown.
And what's holding his pants up? Oh, he's got a belt with nipples and dinks.
That would you buy a belt that's just nipples and dinks?
Nipples and dinks. That could be like a knick-knack store or.
Yeah.
And dink is a uniquely Canadian slang word.
Is
apparently.
it?
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa.
What is dink?
Dink, man.
Calling your penis a dink.
Yeah. In other parts of the world, Chris, they say dick or penis.
Then why is it so funny in
You're telling me Vladimir
Spaceballs-
Putin's never said dink?
Yeah. Why is it so funny in Spaceballs when those little guys go dink dink
Oh,
dink
I
dink dink
love-
dink
yeah.
dink?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to say
They were like the Ewoks, kind of, or
no, not the Ewoks.
no, but you're talking about Spaceballs, right?
Yeah.
What were they? I forget what they looked like. I remember he had, or they were almost like Oompa Loompas or something.
No. They're like the little black hooded guys from Star Wars with the red
Oh.
beady eyes that collect
Jawas.
Jawas. Yeah, thank you.
Jawas.
Yeah.
Well, what do you give Ed Gein, Chris?
Shit, dude. Fuck. Like, how do we not give him a 10?
I respect that.
I fucking go 10 with Ed Gein.
Yeah.
Just a savage monster on all accounts.
Yeah.
And I'd give his mom a 9.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, I would give him a 10, but he was a hardworking guy, did a lot of odd jobs around the town, which counts for something because no one these days wants to work. I will say what he did was horrendous and heinous and hateful, and I'll join you in giving a 10 to Ed
It's kind of
Gein.
fun to say 10 right now, I
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
admit.
I would give him a 5. No, just kidding. I'm kidding.
He did have
Um,
cool style. He wore
yeah.
like vintage like farmer gear,
Yeah.
hunting hat. He had a cool hunting hat.
And he inspired a lot of great movies.
And he
There's
lived
that.
close to Canada.
He did.
I'd probably go 9. 9.
9.
A hard 9.
So 10, 10, and 9.
Yes.
I really love saying 10 right now.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just
cool.
fun.
I like it.
It's just
Cool.
fun.
Excellent. Well, that was fun. A fun time learning about Ed Gein.
Gobble, gobble, gobble. Well, that was another great episode of
Evil Man.